This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake. And I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life.
Yes, and it's always great for more information, and you can visit at littlemomentscount.org. And right now, we're here with two special guests to talk about why these little moments count so much with our next generations. And I want to welcome Sandy. And Sandy, you're from Lower Sioux, and you're in the Head Start and Dakota Language Immersion program, and it's CWOO. I want to say a big ahoo and welcome.
Hi.
Yeah. Good one. Hey. So Sandy, I got a couple questions here for you, and yeah. I see we have Vanessa is on here too. I just didn't see that she was on there. Welcome, Vanessa Goodthunder.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't see your camera on, so I didn't see you were on. My bad, as the young ones say. Yeah. Hey, Vanessa, could you share your journey in becoming the director of Lower Sioux Early Head Start? And hey, what inspired your commitment to Dakota Language Immersion?
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, absolutely. Well, it was 2017. I just remember I was in high school. Now I'll go way back in 2010, and the elders, they wanted to teach Dakota language in the high schools. So they didn't have the licensure to do it, so they weren't able to. So I always remember that moment. I was like, oh my goodness, let's get some language into our high school. So I went to school, I did the things, and I got the licensures, and I came back, and they told me, hey, if you want everything in all of your dreams to happen where everybody's speaking Dakota, we think that your own school for the tribe makes the most sense. And so I did.
Hey.
We were going to open our own school, so we wrote a grant and we got it, and then we opened doors in August of 2018 because we believe that the language is a part of us, and without it, we're not whole. And so our language, it has our values, a part of it. It has our geometry, our geography, our astrology. It has everything entangled to it, our sense of belonging. And so the elders always, you're remembering, reclaiming, and reconnecting to who you are, and thus you're healing and you're getting back to that Dakota Wichoha. And that's why we opened.
Right on. Hey, Sandy, you grew up attending a Dakota Language Immersion school. How has that experience shaped your approach to teaching and your passion in the Dakota way of life? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my grandma, she used to work at a Dakota Immersion school in Lake Andy, South Dakota. So I started attending when I was 2 years old, and up until I was 13. The experience was we would do mainly cultural activities, and we would learn the language while doing those cultural activities. So we'd be out harvesting, and they'd explain everything in the language, and then we'd go into classroom settings, and we'd learn like your basic colors and shapes and numbers. And for me personally, I think that shaped me to see how to teach the younger ones here now. Like, you can be in the classroom, but you obtain more language while doing just normal everyday things, but while speaking the language.
Yeah, that's so important, and for the young ones, and for those neurons firing and learning English and Dakota. Both of you have emphasized the importance of revitalization, the Dakota language. What role do you believe early childhood education plays in this effort? And Vanessa, I'll go with you first. Vanessa disappeared, so Sandy, you have to answer that. Oh, wow. So what role do you believe early childhood education plays in this effort of revitalizing the language?
Well, personally, I have 2 children, and I've been working with them culturally and within the language, as well as learning myself. So I've noticed we switched out a lot of English words with the Dakota words, and it's fun to see how they only know those words in Dakota. Like, my son's first word was tapa, which means ball in Dakota, and we just speak it every day. And them at that young age, their brain really absorbs it. They're little sponges.
Great, and it looks like we have Vanessa back. And Vanessa, what role do you believe that early childhood education plays in the effort of revitalization of the Dakota language?
Well, we really believe that early childhood is so important is because their brain sets, most of it's developed by the age of 3, right? And so if we grow these children up, and even in the womb, there's research now that says that a baby can tell between 2 languages when they're in their mother, and I think that's just beautiful. And so that's why we chose early childhood, because we want to raise these children up with their first language as Dakota. And I think it's been just a really great journey. We've been really healing ourselves as the staff, I've noticed. And we always just say we're just a bunch of young people trying to heal our inner child by raising wonderful children who always know what love is and never have to go through life not knowing what their language is and not knowing their life ways with it. So that's why we really chose early childhood to start.
That's beautiful, and we talk about this a lot on Native Roots Radio, that your generation has really picked up the ball after a couple generations, including mine and one before, for boarding schools and all these colonization. That I'm really, as a former high school teacher, I'm really proud of your generation and the other generations that are coming up, because you're really grabbing the ball, Sandy and Vanessa, and it's just exciting to hear your excitement, but also what you're doing for your community and our community.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. It's because of your generations that we're here. My dad always told me about the American Indian Religious Freedom Act in 1978. I wasn't on this earth yet, and he just said, Vanessa, it was just a piece of paper. They signed it, and it took a lot longer for our lifeways to come back after it was deemed legal again. And so I always say by the time I was gracing this earth by 1994, they already brought back the Wiwangwachi, the Sundance, and they already brought back the Inipi, the Sweat Lodge. So I never had to go through life not knowing what those 2 ceremonies were. And for me, I feel like it's our task now to raise our children not knowing, so that they never have to know what it's like not to speak Dakota. So it's really because of all of our ancestors who have fought so hard for us to get here while we're here. And I say we as if me and Sandy are from the same generation, but she keeps reminding me that I am a millennial and she is a Gen Zer. So she
Oh,
heals me. um, and the Gen Z age, they are so healing. They really teach me about mental health and taking care of yourself. And so hats off to Sandy.
right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to come right back after this short break. Oh,
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awakened. This is Robert Pilot.
This segment of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count. Nearly 80% of brain growth happens in the first 1,000 days, and small moments of interaction, like talking, playing, reading, and singing, help create the pathways that build a child's brain during this early stage of life.
Hey, we're here with Vanessa Goodthunder and Sandy Jackson from the Lower Sioux Early Head Start and Head Start Dakota Language Immersion Program, CWOO. And I'm wondering if you, Dakota speaker, somebody could tell me how to pronounce your, help me.
Oh, no problem. Take it away, Sandy.
Oh. Chan Shayapi wa Kainja Owaya wa Oti.
Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, I got a quick question. Welcome back, you guys. What message would you like to share with parents in their families about the importance of Dakota language and education in their lives? And I'll go with you, Sandy, first, because you're a Gen Zer. Oh, wow.
I just want to share that it's very important that you learn your language and your ways, because it does heal your mind, spirit, your body. It does a lot of great things, not only for you, but for those around you. I noticed just working here how much the language brings us all together. We're not all from the same family, but we speak and act like we are, and it's just really beautiful to see every day.
Yeah, it does. And Vanessa, I'd like you to chime in too, just on a message of supporting this with Dakota language and their children's lives.
Yeah. When you speak Dakota, you're feeling and you're seeing who you are again, and you're getting to learn yourself over. And it's just so beautiful. And it's so beautiful to see these children be so proud of who they are. And it's so scary. I think the biggest hurdle we have as adults is ourselves and our worry and our scaredness. But like, those little ones, when they fall, when they're learning how to walk, we never go, oh my goodness, they're never going to get it. But we do that to ourselves as adults. And so I always just encourage people to keep trying, keep learning, speak one word at a time, and then sentences will grow. We thought we were going to be completely immersion in 5 years. And that was crazy of us. We're so funny. We know better now. It takes about 2,000 hours for someone to get intermediate mid-fluency. And at the rate we were going, it was going to take 56 years. And so we had to do something drastic. And so for the parents, it might be something drastic, but you can start off small and then you can get there. So that's what I have to say, Piramaya, for even trying and listening.
That's awesome. And Vanessa, in your role, do you foster connections among students, families, and in the community? Is that what you do?
Yes. So my role now is a Dakota Iapi Wonspe Wichaki Tancha. So I oversee our language department. In 2018, when we opened, we had a department of one person because we were like, we're all going to be a part of language. It's all of our job, which it is. But you do need people directly working on the maintenance of the language, the preservation, and the revitalization portions of it. So who's recording all of our speakers, who's making all the materials, who's actively growing the teachers. And so now we have a department of 7, and it's been the biggest our tribe has ever had, and we're so happy. So that's what I'm overseeing now, and I'm helping expand. So we're in our 7th year of the school, and the tribe has voted to expand the school to ages K through 4th grade. So we'll be opening a new school, birth to 4th grade, in 2030.
Wow, that's exciting. Sandy, what challenges have you faced in your journey to become a Dakota language teacher, and how do you encourage others to overcome, similar hurdles?
So like Vanessa mentioned, the scaredness and the worries, and that's my biggest challenge is I have a fear of speaking, and because I'm worried I might get it wrong. But what helped me through it the most was I work along with Vanessa, and she'll speak to me in the language all day, every day. And I have a really good ear for listening and understanding, and I can translate it, but I'm scared to speak it. So that's what I'm trying to get over right now. And I'm getting a lot better because Vanessa sticks with it, and she speaks to me daily. She basically quizzes me every day on what I know and what I can speak.
She's kind of getting back at you for being a Gen Zer. Oh, wow.
She is.
Right, Vanessa?
Oh my gosh, a lot of reflection is going on in my head right now. Am I doing that? No, I'm just kidding.
No. I'm kidding. We have
No,
jokes
her
here.
ear is so good, Sandy's is. And so when I'm speaking, it's so funny because her voice is so small, not small, but silent. And so when we're in class, she'll know the answer. She'll just keep whispering it. Um, but she does know it, and she just grows with it. So our hope is to bring that out with her. And she's doing great. Everybody's doing great. The apprentices are doing wonderful. So yeah, we're just a little family trying to speak Dakota.
That's awesome. That really is. And can you both discuss the importance of the cultural context? And I think we touched a little bit on it in teaching Dakota language, and how do you incorporate the Dakota history and the values into your curriculum? And I think I'll go with you first, Vanessa.
Yeah, so we make sure that everything we do is Dakota. And recently we partnered with the University of Hawaii Hilo and the University of Minnesota Twin Cities to do that. We looked at our relatives in Hawaii. We looked at our relatives in Jemez, New Mexico. And then we looked to our relatives in the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma. So we visited all 3 of them this year, and we learned a lot because they're ahead of us in the revitalization efforts. And every time we visit them, we get a little stronger. And so, for instance, every morning we do a morning protocol where all of the students, all 60 of them in the center, come all in one space. And then we start with our prayer songs, our morning song, and then we do a prayer song or a thank you song or an encouragement song. And then we begin the day with prayer. And that's how we start our day every single day. And you can tell that these bebenas, these wakainjas, the sacred being children, they're hearing it. As soon as that song starts, they get really quiet and they have that nice silence because they're listening. And then now they're learning the song and they're singing it. So you have these little 2-year-olds singing, 1-year-olds singing. I mean, it's just beautiful. So that's a little bit of what we do. Yeah.
Wow, that is great. That's amazing. What initiatives are you currently in place at your school to increase Dakota fluency? I think we talked about that among young learners. I mean, you're speaking it as much as you can, and starting out with a Dakota language prayer, Sandy. That's beautiful. And how else are you doing this?
Well, so currently with my position, we opened up an apprenticeship with our in-house teachers. We currently have 6 apprentices and then 3 advanced learners. who work with master speakers, Harold Blacksmith and Glenn Washichina. They also attend classes at the University of Mankato with Glenn Washichina, and then one of the advanced speakers attends the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and they just work every day with learning the language, and what they learn in those classes they take back into their classrooms with the children. And it's just amazing to see how far everyone has come since we started this apprenticeship. Currently, it's only in-house teachers, but we are furthering it out to anyone who knows the language and needs the credentials. And it's just amazing to see how much everyone has grown to love and learn the language.
Well, this has been really eye-opening and really good information for everybody to listen to. I really like how you talked about the other tribes are ahead of us and ahead of you guys, and be able to go and visit. Vanessa Goodthunder and Sandy Jackson from the Lower Sioux Early Head Start and Head Start Dakota Language Immersion Program. I want to just say a big peeny gigi for coming on and speaking your truth and talking about all the great things that you guys are doing. Keep up the great work, you young ones.
Hidamaya.
Hidamaya.
Hey, we're still here. We are the seventh generation.
And free Leonard Peltier now.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.